Page 70, problem number 12. 3 cards are drawn from a standard deck without replacement. Find the probability of getting each of these results. Now, one thing just to note before we start is that each of these is a totally independent problem, meaning, okay, we're drawing 3 jacks, and then this is a totally new problem. So the jacks are put back in the deck. We start over, we reshuffle. So 4 independent problems. A few other things, we've got a standard deck, meaning we've got 52 cards we're talking about. And without replacement, meaning we don't put the cards back in the deck. Okay, let's take this first one at a time. It can be complex to think about how to draw 3 jacks from a deck. So think of it 1 card at a time. Let's just think 1 jack. Well, we know there are 4 jacks in the deck of cards out of 52 cards. So this would be our answer if the problem just said, what's the probability of getting 1 jack? Well, in this case, we need 1 jack and a 2nd jack and a 3rd jack. So we say, well, we need this to happen, and, so I use multiplication. Now, for my next jack, one of those jacks is gone, so there's only 3 left, and one of the cards is gone, so there's 51 cards remaining. Now, that's the 2nd jack. The 3rd jack, there's, well, 2 of them are gone, so 2 jacks remaining, and 50 cards remaining. So if we multiply top times the top, bottom times the bottom, we get a probability of 24 out of, I believe that's 132,600. Now we could reduce that fraction, we could write it as a percentage. To be honest with you, I prefer this answer right here because it shows me, hey, 24, I know where that comes from. This number here, I know where that comes from. Okay, if you go further with it, that's quite all right, but I'm going to leave my answer as is. Okay, now each of these problems just differs a little bit from that first one. So next one, an ace, king, and queen in order. Now don't let the words in order throw you off. Here's what I mean by that. Well, let's address that as we do the problem. First of all, probability of drawing and getting an ace. There are 4 aces in the deck out of 52 cards. And probability next of getting a king, there are 4 kings in the deck. Notice we didn't subtract 1, we're talking about a different card. But there is 1 less card, so it's out of 51. And then last, there's 4 queens in the deck, and there's 50 cards. So multiplying the top times the top, bottom times the bottom, gives us 64 out of 132,600. Now, let's talk about this in order stuff. Well, for this situation, we had the ace first, and then the king, and then the queen. This problem gets a whole lot more complex if these words in order are not there, because then it could be king, ace, queen, king, queen, ace, queen, ace, king. There's a bunch of different possible orders that this could be in. So when you see the words in order, it actually makes the problem simpler because we only need to think about this one specific order: ace, then king, then queen. Okay, those same words come up in the next problem. So again, a little different: club, spade, and heart in order. Well, for the first draw, there's 52 cards. How many clubs are in the deck? There's 13 clubs times. And now there's also 13 spades, but there's 1 fewer card, so out of 51. And there's 13 hearts, and again 1 fewer card, so 50. So again, multiplying across, we get 2197 over that 132,600. All right, last problem. 3 clubs. So, okay, in the last problem we saw that there's 13 clubs in a deck out of 52. For the second card, 1 of those clubs is missing. We need 3 clubs now, so to get the second, it's going to be 12, and 1 card is missing out of 51. And the third club, we need 11 out of 1 card is missing, 50. And again, multiplying the top times the top, bottom times the bottom, we get 1716 out of 132,600. And just to give you an idea of how rare these events are, if you do think of this as a percentage, if we go 1716 divided by 132,600, we get an answer of about 0.013 or so, which is about 1.3%. Sometimes people like this idea as a percentage, but it shows you how rare this would be to just pick 3 clubs. And some of these answers, the first 2 are even more rare. You'll get an even smaller percentage than that. This one right above, you get a little bit higher percentage, but not much.